Hello and welcome to Joan Comrie's Feeding Tips. My name is Joan Comrie and today we're going to talk about picking out the correct pacifier. So you decided that a pacifier would be a good idea for you and your child. And so you go to the store and you walk in and you see an entire wall of pacifiers. And you look and you're like, oh, that one's really cute because it has a baseball bat on it. And oh, that one's cute because it has the mustache on it. And oh, I really like that one because it's a ballerina slippers and I want my daughter to be a little dancer. The problem is that is how we pick out pacifiers, how cute they are. But what really matters is the other side of the pacifier, the part that goes in your baby's mouth. Because whatever we put in our mouth affects function. So if you put in a pacifier, it can change and will change the way that your baby uses their tongue. So what do you want to look for in a good pacifier? So my very favorite kind of pacifier are these. These are called Soothy pacifiers. And if you look at them, they're not very cute. But this is the side that really counts. And if you look at this compared to a pacifier like this one has a really skinny neck. And so what a baby can do if they don't have a good pattern is they can bite on that neck and stabilize and use jaw compression. So if you're a breastfeeding mom or even if you're a bottle feeding mom and that baby bites into that bottle, and definitely if the baby's biting into the breast, you are definitely going to have difficulty with feeding. The thing I like about these pacifiers is it's round and cylindrical, and if the baby bites into it, the pacifier falls out of their mouth. So it's a great natural consequence. If the pacifier isn't used correctly in the baby's mouth, it's going to pop out. And so some moms say, or dads say, oh, my baby doesn't like that pacifier because every time I give it to them, they cry. Well, the baby may be crying not because they don't like the pacifier, but because they're frustrated that they don't have the right tongue patterns to be able to keep that pacifier in their mouth. Now there are two, and these are the pacifiers I use in therapy. And there are two different kinds. They're the soft ones that are really easy to bend, and the firmer ones, as you can see, much firmer and harder to bend. And so if the baby has a strong bitey pattern and they're not nursing very well, I may, and if they don't like these pacifiers, I'll start with the soft one to help them get comfortable with this pacifier on their tongue. Because if you look, this is a baby's tongue, your pacifier wants to fit about the middle of that tongue. And if you're using this pacifier, look what it does to your baby's tongue. It kind of makes it lift up and get crooked. And if you're a nursing mom and you have that lipstick looking pattern on your breast when you pull the baby off, they're using that same sort of pattern. This pacifier is going to encourage that type of a pattern. Now some people will say, well, my doctor or my friend said that I need to get the orthodontic type of pacifier, which would be one that would be like this, which encourages the tongue to pull more retracted in the tongue. But as a speech pathologist who specialized in feeding and swallowing disorders for over 30 years, I would argue that this pacifier is going to encourage babies to use a retracted tongue pattern, which is the worst thing that you want for breastfeeding and also the worst thing that you want for bottle feeding, because then you're not using the correct part of your tongue, which is the middle of your tongue, is the part of the tongue that has the most action when you're nursing or taking a bottle. And if you have your tongue too far retracted in your mouth, the way that you're going to come forward to get food, whether you're doing a puree or you're chewing and swallowing, that's going to encourage that tongue to come more forward, which then will push your teeth out when you get old enough to have your teeth start forming in your mouth. So, things I want you to remember. Number one, what you put in your mouth affects your function. So you want to make sure that what you're putting in your baby's mouth is going to stimulate or facilitate the most active patterns so that they have the best sucking pattern. And I think that these kind of pacifiers are the best because they're cylindrical, they lay correctly in the baby's mouth, and if the baby is not sucking, if they try to bite this pacifier is going to fall out of their mouth, and that's a great natural consequence for having something that's not working correctly. I hope that helps you, and I look forward to more videos on feeding tips for you. Thanks.